Hey guys, today you're going to hear what the new Fortin Cali amp by Neural DSP sounds like for melodic death metal on a 7-string guitar. And I'm going to be using some of Ola Englund's presets. So make sure you hang around till after the song because I'm going to tell you a little bit more about those presets and of course the song I'm playing. So the song you just heard, and my subscribers probably recognize this, is called Final Rain, and it's actually the final track off my latest album, Masterpeace. I've got a link in the description of this YouTube video, so please go check that out. That helps support independent musicians like myself. Now the preset, the Ola Englund preset I use for the Fortin Cali by Neural DSP is called push out that baby. I think I'm gonna push this out instead. So let's start with the pedals in front of the amp. As you can see here, Ola only has the hexa drive on and is somewhat the typical settings you would expect for metal guitar amps, for the high gain amps. Now you can see he does his pedal here a little like I do mine. I have the drive all the way down, but I don't have the level all the way up. The only difference between my normal settings and Ola's settings here is he's got the tone knob, turned quite a bit to the right. I usually leave mine up the middle for this type of pedal. All right, so now let's take a look at the amp settings here. Now I will say there's two little slight changes that I made to Ola's setting because it fit my style of playing and everything else that was going on in the mix here. So I cut the bass back just a little. So what you're seeing is the Ola settings, push out that baby with just a little less bass, and the gain 1, I just dialed that back just a hair. And again, that just sounded a little bit better in the mix. Now, it doesn't mean that my settings are better than Ola's. I've been following Ola and have really been a big fan of his tones for probably since he started. All right, now I want you to pay attention to the switches at the bottom. There's 4 little switches at the bottom of the amp here, and this is where you can really get into some nice tone shaping. And I love how Ola has these set already, and it just sounds really, really cool. The thump is all the way on. The hair, there's a little hair button there. I don't have any of that. Is in the middle there. And then you've got a violence. That's all the way on. And then the bright is all the way in the middle. That just gives you a really nice and heavy and clear tone. Let's take a look at the cabinet and the mic settings on here with this suite of amps. And this is really with all Neural DSP's Fortin amps. They give you the ability to use 2 different mics, and that's really awesome because it helps shape your tone that much more. You can get a lot of different sounds out of that. So Ola's got the Dynamic 57 on the one speaker here. Now he's got that pretty close to the cone, and it's right up against the grill there, which works really well obviously for this type of music. Now look at the second mic here. He's got the Ribbon 121. Now this mic, in my opinion, gives your tone a lot more depth and just a really cool sound. I love this mic, mixed in with the Dynamic 57. Now the Ribbon 121 is a little further from the cone, and it's also just a little further back away from the grill. And again, that gives you just a really nice metal tone with a ton of clarity. Now, as most of you know, I record 2 rhythm tracks and I hard pan each one. And most of you guys who have been watching me for a while know that second track, I like to have a little bit of variance in the tone. So here's what I did for the second guitar track, which I think this one's hard panned right while the other's hard panned left. I switched out the Ribbon 121 for the Condenser 414 just to get a little bit different tone. And I didn't change anything else. I kept it in the same position. That seemed to sound really good. But in my opinion, when you have a slight variance in that other track, it just makes your sound more full. Now let's take a look at the lead guitar track. It's a little bit different sound here, and actually I used one of Ola's presets for this as well, and it's called the Show Me the Way lead. So in front of the amp, we've only got the hexa drive on. Now here Ola has the level all the way up, and I just kept that the same because it's, for lead it sounded really good the way it was. Now let's take a look at the amp settings for Ola's Show Me the Way. And again, this is what I use for my lead guitar tracks that you heard. The major difference here is the violence is turned all the way back. So that's off. And you'll notice gains 1 and 2 are cranked up pretty high, and that's expected because you want that sustain for your leads and you need that extra push to help it cut through the mix. Now the one thing I did change for this specific setting is I turned the master volume up just a little bit. Now let's take a look at the cab and mic settings Ola has here. So he is pairing the Ribbon 121 with the Ribbon 160. Now these 2 mics together for this setup really gives your lead that creamy sound that helps it cut through the mix even more. And I like this because you want to use a different sound almost altogether for your leads than you do for your rhythms, because that helps it cut through the mix as well. Now also for my lead guitar tracks, I always like to add some delay, so I just pulled in a delay plugin from my DAW, which is PreSonus Studio One Pro. This is one thing I really wish Neural DSP would consider. I really wish they would consider adding some effects like some reverb, chorus delay, and that sort of thing to the Fortin amp suites in general, because I still use the Fortin NTS amp quite a bit, and I'm I'm liking this Fortin Cali as well. It's a lot more diverse in the types of tones you can get. It's got a really good metal tone for 7-string in this style of metal as well. So guys, leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts on this metal tone using the Fortin Cali by Neural DSP. I'd love to know your thoughts on that. So guys, thank you for watching my video, and thank you as well for supporting my music. Until the next video, keep it metal.